But we begin this hour in the prime villa, Casa Deion, as Deion Sanders continues to move the needle. Who could have seen this coming? Deion Sanders, the Colorado Buffaloes, people spending hours online to buy tickets. I thought everyone bought tickets online, but people waiting a long time to get access to Deion Sanders there, the Colorado football team, more popular than the Broncos at this point. They are filling the content plate yet again. If you have not heard the latest, more chatter over the last couple of days about Deion Sanders going to the NFL and all that. But let me give you the thumbnail recap on what we believe is Deion's latest response. The Fox Sports college football guru. You can't mess with someone who's a guru. You can't. So Joel Klatt is his name, and college football takes are his game. He says that Deion Sanders is not interested at all in coaching in the National Football League because he is so focused. He's got a laser pointer on being a mentor to the college kids. He's doing it for the children. So the quote was, this is from Joel Klatt, college football guru, that Deion said he's not going to the NFL. He doesn't want to coach in the NFL. He told me, Joel Klatt said, that point blank in my face, he stated. He believes, according to the quote, that his role, Deion's role, is as a mentor. He loves coaching kids. And this is where he feels at home. And he believes that that is his ministry, to coach kids there in college. So let us discuss the question. That's a pretty strong quote. Has Deion Sanders now slammed the door shut on coaching in the NFL based on what he told Joel Klatt? So I'm going to go first. I am shaking my head. No. All right. No. Now, I've got Stevie Ray Vaughan, Candid Camera, and Dingy. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make extra frosting on top of the cake. My favorite part of the cake, the frosting. It's just pure sugar and just butter and sugar. It's just wonderful. Anyway, so my first thought here, number one. We don't doubt that Coach Prime did tell Joel Klatt that statement. We're not accusing Joel Klatt of being a liar. I've never met Joel Klatt, but he seems like a pretty good guy. I don't know. In the past, Deion Sanders has made similar comments, going back to his days in Jackson State. Regardless of that, he is a head football coach. So my default position, what does that mean? My default position from years of being a gas bag and having to parse the words of coaches, Deion Sanders will lie right to your face. There's a clinical term that the media has come up with and fans have come up with for coaches when they talk. It's called coach speak. It's coded verbal gymnastics is what it is, which includes, as we said, lying right to your face. Right? There's a lie right to your face, and you're not under oath when you're talking to a radio show or TV show or some internet hack. NFL teams are going to test the hypothesis that Deion Sanders does not want to coach in their league. Because right now, Deion is hotter than a firecracker, right? Everyone's talking about Deion, and the NFL's in the entertainment business, and Deion's not even playing anymore, obviously. He's an old dude, but people love him. They are like, the NFL's kind of, it's like Stevie Ray Vaughan. The classic there, Love Struck Baby. The NFL's love struck with Coach Prime. So my belief is that if the stage is big enough, Deion Sanders can announce that God told him to coach in the NFL, right? Or something along those lines, or he had some kind of sign from a higher power, and then he can open up his own ministry for young men, troubled young men in the NFL. He can have his own halfway house somewhere in Jerry's world. Because you think if the Cowboys were to fire McCarthy, let's say they lose a playoff game like they usually do, and they win all these regular season games and then vanish in the playoffs, McCarthy gets let go. And Jerry Jones calls Deion Sanders up. Ring, ring. Hey, Deion, how would you like to coach the Dallas Cowboys? Does Deion say no to that? I don't think he would. I think he'd coach the Atlanta Falcons, another one of his old teams, if the Falcons came calling at the end of the year. All right, now, page 2. We went from the Buffaloes to good old Buffalo. In the NFL version, the Buffalo Bills had a rather interesting story bouncing around. I don't know if you saw this one or not. It's pretty funny. So there was a news conference, and a Buffalo Bills reporter is currently in the soup and has some explaining to do. A team-hired employee hired to put flowers around the Bills facility and acid wash everything, make it all nice and pretty. So this Bills reporter is caught talking trash about Stefon Diggs without realizing that she was caught on microphone and people could hear everything she was saying. Now, the money quote on this was, quote, "There's no control over Stefon Diggs. Dude's going to do what he wants to do. He'll look in my face and say, F you. That's how he treats everybody." Close quote.
Talking trash.
Oh, so good. God, is this good. Right in my veins. Put it right in my veins. I love this story. Wowzers. Now, that quote went viral in the Buffalo Bills Mafia and around the NFL. And as is usually the case, guys like Andy, the comic book guy who listens to the show, and Bills Mafia and others immediately ran to defend Stefon Diggs. And this led to some people also criticizing Stefon Diggs more. And the team reporter issued a wordy social media mea culpa. So how did you score the Buffalo Bills reporter apologizing over her unhinged Stefon Diggs rant? So I give this the D. I give it a D. Not an F, but I give it a D. Now, this is what's called forced, I believe. The textbook definition of this is forced. Now, I have no insider information, but my gut tells me that text messages were exchanged, and you better apologize or we're going to fire your ass and hire someone else here to put fluff out about the Buffalo Bills. As a general rule of thumb, and this is all-encompassing, we believe the initial statement over the clarification 99.9% of the time. And so this was a candid camera moment. Did you know the old TV show Candid Camera, which was a classic in early television, was originally a radio show? It was called Candid Microphone. True story. You can look it up. Anyway, so this lady, I don't even know her name. It's not really important. Nobody knows who she is. But she spoke candidly about Stefon Diggs. And then publicly, she tried to unring the bell, is what she tried to do. Of course, the damage had been done. She's on the payroll for the Buffalo football team, and they expect you to handle yourself with a certain kind of decorum. So if she did not apologize, even if with her apology, it's like access denied in the future. This is what's known as friendly fire. The reason professional sports teams love their web reporters is because they are in the tank. They love it. And because of the internet being so big over the years here, and it's gotten bigger and bigger, and it's the biggest thing in the world right now, there's been an entire generation that has grown up embracing only positivity. And if anyone's negative, you're just a hater, man. What's wrong with you? And so the teams, they realize this, and so they hire people who are just total cheerleaders, rah-rah, the whole thing for the hometown team. Nothing ever critical. And so when you go outside of that orthodoxy, it becomes a problem. And so here's another example of how phony these team reporters are, because on the record, she's out there starting a bubble bath for Stefon Diggs. But off the record, when she doesn't think her words are going to be published, there's no control over Diggs. Now, what she said into that microphone, not realizing she was being recorded, that is what's known as the whole truth and nothing but the truth. What she said after that, bullcrap. All right, now, final point. Let's go to Chicago quickly. I haven't heard from a lot of Bears fans this week. Boy, I was getting inundated. What's wrong? Why are you ripping the Bears? Shame on you. Yeah. I killed the Bears, too, on the TV show last week. I ripped apart the Bears. But anyway, the Bears have a wide receiver named Chase Claypool. Might have heard about him. He was a relatively high draft pick, played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is in danger right now of being benched. Now, why would he be benched? Is there someone better on the bench? No. There's no one better on the bench, at least talent-wise. He is in danger of being benched. He was such a dog with fleas against the Green Bay Packers last weekend that some of the clips went viral. The Bears have a head coach, not a good one, Nat Eberflus, who gave a strong clue that Claypool will be listed as inactive. Now the Bears go to Tampa on a sultry, warm afternoon in Florida there this weekend. But the main problem, El Matador. Ole, 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 ole. Matador boxing. Or Matador blocking. He would have been better if he was doing Matador boxing. But anyway, it was just terrible blocking. So would this benching be considered an indictment of Chase Claypool if he does end up getting benched? And I am nodding my head passionately yes. Not only for Claypool, but also the entire Chicago Bears franchise. They thought very arrogantly that they had such a great culture, they were building such a great culture in Chicago, that even though this guy stunk in Pittsburgh, that it would be all different. He just needed to change the scenery. And Mike Tomlin, I went back and I looked at my notes because I remember talking about Claypool with the Steelers, and indeed I was right. Tomlin benched Claypool. He got so upset with Claypool over his shenanigans that he benched him in Pittsburgh, and then that led to a trade, and the Bears, I don't think they ever thought they were getting a steal. I think they traded, I believe, like a first-round pick or close to it to get Claypool. But they had this whole mindset, we're going to fix this guy. They didn't read the fine print. This is a cautionary tale. The guy's got a great skill set. He doesn't seem to care. He does not have a passion for pigskin. And right now, Chase Claypool, if you get benched by the Chicago Bears, you're as a football player, your career is sitting on a dinghy with a broken down motor. You're just kind of floating around in the harbor. Right? The old lazy daisy. Apathetic, apparently, is the issue. The highlights of him not even trying to block are outstanding. A professional football player, just great. Did he think the cameras would not catch him not trying to block? Did he think that maybe they would just ignore him? Apparently so.